Ever flip through like those high-end magazines, you know, the ones, and come across those like super sleek dental brochures? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, totally. The ones that make you feel like you need a tooth appointment just to understand them.
Exactly. It's like they're selling you on a whole lifestyle, not just a cleaning. And today, we're diving deep into one such brochure from Dr. Joseph T. Mormino.
Ooh, fancy. Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right. So they're definitely trying to position this guy as a cut above your average dentist, right? Like they mentioned Georgetown.
Okay, impressive. Did they happen to slip in any other big names?
Oh, yeah, they did. Trained with the renowned Dr. Peter Dawson himself, you know?
No way. That's like saying a chef studied under, like, I don't know, Julia Child or something. It's a lineage thing, right? Like, we follow in the footsteps of greatness.
Exactly. They're signaling a certain philosophy of dentistry. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff. Chapter 1, higher level of general dentistry. What do you think? Just marketing jargon, or is there something more to it?
It's a good question. They're definitely playing on this idea that it's beyond just, you know, the basics. It's like higher level is meant to suggest a much more comprehensive approach to oral health, considering like both function and how it looks, aesthetics, you know?
So it's not just fixing problems. They're talking about making your smile look amazing too.
Right. Like they highlight porcelain veneers, and it's not just to fix a chip or anything, but to really enhance your whole smile. They even talk about how Dr. Mormino like meticulously pays attention to matching the shape, the size, the shade of each veneer, like it's custom made jewelry or something.
He's a good artist, sculpting your smile.
Exactly. It's bespoke dentistry, and I think that's a key distinction.
Right.
Are you looking for, you know, purely functional dentistry, or are aesthetics important to you? It makes a difference.
Now, one thing they kept emphasizing was the on-site dental lab. Why so much emphasis on that?
Control, my friend. Control. And speed.
Yeah.
And I guess collaboration, too. Having a lab in-house means they control the quality of the materials they're using, and obviously the craftsmanship, you know. Plus, faster turnaround time.
Fewer appointments. Now you're speaking my language.
Right. Convenience is key. But it's not just that. They highlight the collaboration aspect, too. The dentist and the technician working side by side, making sure the final product matches, like Dr. Mormino's vision, you know.
A well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
All under one roof. Okay, so what about this whole Smiles Tomorrow thing I keep seeing? Full arch tooth replacement in one day.
It does sound a little, I don't know, too good to be true, doesn't it?
That was my thought. So is it legit?
Well, it's definitely designed to grab your attention, and it plays on this fear people have of like long, drawn-out dental procedures, you know, replacing all your teeth on one or both jaws. Traditionally, that's not a quick fix, right?
So they're banking on the get it over with quickly mentality.
Totally. Smiles Tomorrow, they're saying, hey, we can transform your smile in a day. But, and this is a big but, faster isn't always better when it comes to healthcare, you know? I mean, there could be downsides they're not mentioning. Things like cost or like how complicated the aftercare is, stuff like that.
Good point. Okay, so the Smiles Tomorrow thing, that's like their claim to fame, right?
Sure. Sounds impressive, doesn't it?
It does. But let's talk about Dr. Mormino's credentials for a sec. They were throwing acronyms around like confetti, ABA, AECD, ICOI. I mean, what does it all mean?
It's their way of establishing credibility, showing he's not just some random dentist who set up shop. They're signaling that he's a member of all these prestigious organizations, showing he's got a broad range of expertise, you know, like he keeps up to date on the latest advancements and all that.
So he's like a dental overachiever.
You could say that, but at the end of the day, do all those letters really tell us what it's like to be his patient?
That's the $1,000,000 question, isn't it? Because a fancy brochure only tells you so much. Okay, so we've talked about the fancy brochure, the marketing, the whole shebang. But at the end of the day, choosing a dentist, especially for some of these like major procedures they're hinting at, it's a big decision, right?
Huge. This isn't just about like getting your teeth cleaned. We're talking about something that could like totally transform your smile, your confidence, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. So how do we go beyond the brochure and figure out what it's really like to be a patient of, you know, what's his name? Dr. Mormino.
Dr. Mormino. Well, this is where things get interesting. It's like putting on your detective hat, right?
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So we've got our starting point, the brochure, but now we dig deeper. And step one, my friend, is online reviews.
Oh, of course. Everyone checks those these days. But I'm guessing you don't just mean the glowing testimonials on his website, right?
Those are definitely worth a glance just to get a sense of, like, how they're trying to portray themselves, but you gotta cast a wider net. Independent review platforms like Yelp or Health Grades, that's where you're gonna get the real scoop.
So we're talking like unfiltered patient feedback.
Exactly. And remember, it's not just about looking for positive reviews. I mean, even the best dentists are gonna have a few negative ones. Nobody's perfect, right? It's about looking for patterns.
Patterns, like what kinds of things?
So, like, are there multiple reviews mentioning long wait times? Rude staff? Billing issues? Those are red flags, my friend.
What about if they try to upsell you on procedures you don't actually need? That's a big one, right?
Huge red flag. And while we're on the topic of reviews, don't forget about testimonials. Those can be helpful too, but remember, those are usually carefully curated by the practice. Still, look for like detailed accounts, especially video testimonials if they have them.
Oh, for sure. Like if I'm considering this whole Smiles Tomorrow thing, I want to hear from someone who actually had that done.
Exactly. See if you can find any common threads in their experiences. Did they feel like Dr. Mormino really listened to them? Were they happy with the results?
It's about finding a dentist who sees you as a human being, not just a set of teeth.
Preach. Now, here's the gold standard, if you can swing it. Talking to actual patients.
Wait, so I should just show up at his office and start interrogating people in the waiting room?
Maybe not the most subtle approach, but think about your network. Do you know anyone who's been a patient of his?
Oh, right. Word of mouth referrals.
Super valuable. People are usually much more candid with someone they know personally. Ask about their overall experience, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Okay, so we've got online reviews, testimonials, word of mouth referrals. What else?
Don't underestimate the power of a simple phone call.
To the office.
Yep. Talk to the receptionist. Are they friendly? Helpful? Do they seem genuinely interested in answering your questions?
Because a rude receptionist can really ruin the whole experience, even if the dentist is amazing.
Tell me about it. It's about getting a feel for the office culture, the professionalism, all that. Yeah. And don't be afraid to ask specific questions like, what's Dr. Mormino's approach to patient care? What should I expect during my first appointment?
So it's all about gathering as much information as you can, making sure this practice aligns with what you're looking for.
Exactly. Choosing a dentist, it's a personal decision. It's like, finding the perfect pair of jeans. What works for one person might not work for another. You got to find the right fit.
It's like dating for your teeth. It's like finding the perfect pair of jeans for your teeth. There's a thought.
Exactly. It's all about finding the right fit.
Right. And hopefully this little deep dive has given our listener, some tools to start that search. We've talked about the marketing, the whole patient experience thing.
We've gone from glossy brochures to a more down-to-earth view of what this practice is all about.
Exactly. But before we wrap up, tell me, what was your biggest takeaway from this whole brochure? Anything really stand out to you?
It's funny. It wasn't the fancy technology or the whole Smiles Tomorrow thing. It was that little detail about Dr. Mormino training with Dr. Peter Dawson.
Oh, interesting. Why'd that catch your eye?
Well, for me, it speaks volumes about his fundamental approach to dentistry. Dawson, he's a big deal in the dental world, known for his focus on occlusion.
Occlusion. Now, in plain English.
Right. Sorry. It's all about how your teeth fit together when you bite down. Sounds simple, but it's the cornerstone of a healthy bite. And a misaligned bite, that can lead to a whole host of problems. Jaw pain, headaches, you name it.
Wow, I had no idea it was such a big deal. Mm-hmm. So we're not just talking about aesthetics here. It's about how your mouth actually functions.
Exactly. And for me, that little detail, it suggests that Dr. Mormino takes a much more comprehensive approach, looking for the root cause of problems, not just slapping on Band-Aid solutions.
He's looking at the whole picture. I like that.
Me too.
Okay, so our takeaway today. Pay attention to the little things, those subtle clues that tell you about a dentist's philosophy. Now, for the grand finale, the provocative thought, what can we leave our listeners pondering as they, navigate the world of high-end dentistry?
Here's something to chew on, pun intended. We've talked a lot about Dr. Mormino's skills, his techniques, all that jazz, but you know what this brochure doesn't mention? Cost.
The elephant in the room.
Right. High-end dentistry often comes with a high-end price tag. So the question is, how much is a healthy, beautiful smile worth to you? How do you balance that with your budget, your insurance, all of that?
That's a great question. And there's no right or wrong answer, really. It's about finding that sweet spot for you.
Exactly. Your smile, your health, your choice.
Well said. And on that note, we'll let you get back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Until next time, happy exploring.